How did the Bass Pro Tour Stage 5 on Kentucky Lake go? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the vlog. There's 30 minutes left of the tournament. I didn't do a tournament vlog recap after day 3, but there were 19 anglers that made the knockout round. Jacob Wheeler had an automatic bye for the championship round. And those 19 anglers are competing for 9 spots into the championship round. Remember, their weight's 0 on knockout round and championship round. They get 1 period with forward-facing sonar. They get 2 without. We saw on the first 2 days and in the knockout round, forward-facing sonar, while it helped, anglers caught more fish without the scoping technology. But Jake Lawrence started out on fire on day 3. He also started off on fire on day 4 in the championship round. But on day 3, he had 25 plus pounds in the first 30 minutes. And it was the Lawrence Ayler show. Brent Ayler was also on fire. And we need to give a little props to the people who are making Kentucky Lake, or bringing back Kentucky Lake to the way that it was in the past. So congrats to all the people who work on making Kentucky Lake great again. Now, early in day 3, the goal was 65 pounds. They thought if you got to that 65 pound mark, you were going to automatically make it into the championship round. And there were a lot of people, or the announcers, saying Jake Lawrence might do that in the first period. Jake Lawrence was really on top of his game this weekend. And day 3 turned out to be another great tournament, only because that last hour, the anglers were pushing. You could feel the tension. You could feel the drama and the storylines that were being created of the anglers pushing themselves, maybe even fishing a little bit too fast, to try to get themselves into the championship day. And the 9 anglers making championship finale were, and I have to read it at a screen a little bit away, Jake Lawrence, Brent Ayler, John Hunter, Jacob Wall, Cole Floyd, Adrian Avina, Spencer Sheffield, Andy Montgomery, and Michael Neal. And they also brought in Jacob Wheeler. Now, championship finale is not even over yet. I'm doing this 25-30 minutes. Jacob Wheeler is going to win. Jacob Wheeler is going to have over 100 pounds caught today. Now, there will be a lot of people that say, well, he did his damage when he had forward-facing sonar. That's not true. In the 2 periods he didn't use forward-facing sonar were, quite honestly, the best of the best for him. He caught more fish. He caught more weight without it. Now, you can say he has 2 more periods. He has 2 periods versus 1. You're right on that, too. But we have to take the good and the bad. We can't have both sides. That's what it's coming down to a lot of times now. There's a lot of commenters that are like, well, Steve, he did this, or forward-facing sonar, and blah, blah, blah. We have to give these guys credit where it's due. Instead of taking away from what they're doing, let's prop them up. And again, those 10 anglers that made the championship round, most of them did a lot of their damage without forward-facing sonar. And this is one of many tournaments this year on the BPT in Major League Fishing where there are more fish or bigger fish or whatever it is being caught during the period without forward-facing sonar. Does it help them catch more fish? Yes. But these guys are doing it both ways. That's the great thing about what Major League Fishing has. You might not like forward-facing sonar. You might love forward-facing sonar. But this format is without question the best format. It adds the most storylines. It adds the most drama. I believe it brings the most people to watch the sport. And these storylines and the cut line and the championship and all of this stuff elevates this production to be the best that there is. And early on day 4, we had Jacob Wall, who wasn't using forward-facing sonar. He was out there Carolina rigged fishing. And he talked about how his strategy was going to be without forward-facing sonar and what it was going to be with forward-facing sonar. And that communication and explaining and articulating what he was going to do is exactly what every angler should strive to do. It was spectacular to hear his strategy. And that's the one thing that is being missed in a lot of stuff that is Major League Fishing and Bass Pro Tour oriented. The strategy that comes with being one of these anglers. It isn't just when to use it, when not to use it, where to fish and where not to fish, but it comes into play even so much for whoever wins the knockout round. Do you want to win the knockout round and get the automatic bid into the championship? And I asked an angler that had that exact situation happen. Did he think that it was good to miss a day? He said that in most cases, it's okay to miss that day if you're on the same body of water. So, and he mentioned Jacob Wheeler did something that was brilliant. That on day 2, he knew he was going to make the knockout round. He wasn't sure if he wanted the automatic buy. But he went out and he started almost pre-fishing, trying to find new spots to fish. And in Jacob's case, he was watching Score Tracker at the same time and realizing, do I want to go for this automatic bid automatically into the championship round? Or do I want to make sure that I fish that third day? And as the Score Tracker slowed down, Jacob realized he could also learn new fish, catch some, and get this buy, and not fish places that he had already fished before. And there's a strategy for all the little things that are going on. That strategy there is very important because some anglers that have the opportunity to get the buy need to look at, do they want to get the buy and get the money and the points? Because the point situation is even something that we're not talking about. There's only 50 anglers that are going to make the BPT for 2026. Really 45. So points in every tournament is something all the anglers need to think about. And when you're thinking about your points and the money and where you're going to finish, and do I want that automatic buy? Or do I want to make the top 30? Or do I want to make the top 20? All these little things are being put into the BPT anglers. And those little storylines keep getting bigger and bigger as the year goes on. Because who's going to win Angler of the Year? How close are you going to be to Angler of the Year points? How important are those points to your previous successes on the BPT? Because right now, you need to get as many points as you can. Making that top 45 and getting into the 2026 group of anglers for the BPT is important. But this was another fantastic tournament for Major League Fishing. They have not missed all year. I will say there are a couple negatives. They need to put bottom third graphics on the bottom left so that we know who the angler is. But day 4 championship round, Jake Lawrence started off on fire. First period was pretty much dominated by Jake Lawrence. He did a lot of damage. But Jacob Wheeler was behind him. And you could see that Jacob was excited to fish. That he was proud of where he was fishing. And that he had the right strategy. And Jacob Wheeler, with just a few minutes left, is going to win $150,000 for his, I don't even know how many times he's won the BPT. Jacob Wheeler is, without question, the best angler on the planet. That's no disrespect to anyone. Anyone who doesn't think Jacob Wheeler is the best doesn't watch fishing. Because he has dominated the BPT. He's going to win Angler of the Year again this year. And that's just unheard of to be 4 or 5 out of 6 years. But there were some other positives. If you didn't watch today's tournament, the championship round, there was a flotilla of boats that were following Jacob Lawrence. And that I like to see. It's the first time I've ever seen that many boats in a BPT format tournament that were watching one of the top guys. And Jacob Wheeler proved that you can have a day off. You can rest mentally and physically because they do. When they get that day off, they can take a break. We don't realize that they're pre-fishing, getting 2 days of fishing, and having that day off can rejuvenate yourself, get you in the right mindset. And Jacob Wheeler today made sure that he broke the curse of whoever gets the day off doesn't do well. Jacob Wheeler did it. Jacob Wheeler is the best angler out there, for sure. And Jacob Wheeler dominated without using the technology. Remember that. But what did you think? Comment below and tell me what you think. Thanks to all of you subscribers and members and everyone who's interactive on the channel. I really do appreciate it. But if you're not a member or a subscriber, click that button and welcome to the team. Remember, I'm going to do a who's in and who's out video explaining those anglers that are outside the box looking in for that top 45 anglers. So look for that over the next couple days. Remember, take a kid fishing, tight lines, cheers, and get your fish on.